Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a...
No, I am...
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. The employees... I don't hear it. This is a table for experiments.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Tell me, have you ever heard of...
No.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon. The Divine Syndicate. Does that...
Not at all.
Thank you, miss. A ventilation system.
What should we...
The seeds of... These young plants must be delicate. We can see the interior. An award a master's degree.
What should we do next?
A trop... A trop... A trop... A trop... A...
Praise.
This cabinet is full of... This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the... Perfect, Watson. We can begin... I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic... I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic... This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating. How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. It appears no reaction. My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack. My word! It shot... It appears to have fallen inactive after being disturbed. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kью Gardens one more time. Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran him. I clearly remember that it was around half...
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Your father's death does seem highly
Suspicious. Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa. These Latin names. And I spent...
Did you see your father that?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his...
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while...
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was...
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon. Pa. Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon...
I can, but there is nothing very special. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit.
And then?
Well, after that he ran out in the direction of... He was always in a rush during...
And that was the last time you...
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew...
What exactly were you doing?
I was recording an experiment for my... I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish...
You say you were recording an...
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is not...
Thank you, miss.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
No, it wasn't like that. When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused panicking and likely already half asphyxiated. Montague Dunn started. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. We already know the outcome. Montague... Well, it is time to perform our... The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes. We have to activate the ventilation. We have to activate the
The power is on. The engine cannot be started. The engine has started. The ventilation system is working.
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one. From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
Now we need to see if we can activate the fan.
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn... Let's go to Scotland Yard.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait. Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. Martin Hamish.
Mr. Holmes?
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Dry.
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it. The mark around the neck is very visible. He died in...
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
a club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case. Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross.
But, Mr. Holmes...
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situation.
Well...
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish...
You mean to say that somebody helped?
So the suicide...
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself and...
Possibly an accomplice, then?
I have another idea. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events.
With a timeline, such as...
Precise.
The map at the entrance of Kyu Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let us analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing...
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining.
Very good.
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You...
Whatever are you...
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to...
All right, you can count.
Mr. Holmes, good day.
You do not seem surprised.
Well, I was...
Not for too long. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who...
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take...
You could not be further from...
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who... It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here.
The other side. No! Stop! I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did